Hey, hi everyone. This is Manish. I'm part of Azure Cosmos DB Engineering team. I'm excited to have you all here for our first session of Scalable AI series with Azure Cosmos DB. This series is very close to my heart because it's not just about technology. It's actually about how we are solving a real world, intelligent, and scalable solution. And today's session is the perfect example of that. Now, before we dive in, let me take a moment to talk about what Cosmos DB is, and it is basically kind of a star player when it comes to building modernization in your existing application, or you're building a new AI-powered application. Cosmos DB is the answer if your application needs to be super responsive. Um, Azure Cosmos DB is Microsoft's globally distributed NoSQL database service, and it is built on for speed and scale, and most importantly, reliability. If you think about millisecond response time, 5 nines of availability, and need ability to scale instantly across the globe, then Cosmos DB is the right answer. Now, from a use case perspective, whether you're building recommendation engine, you're building a real-time analytical dashboard, or you're having a conversational AI platform, multi-agent AI agent solutions, Cosmos DB is the data backbone that keeps everything running smoothly. Now, what makes Cosmos DB especially relevant in the AI space is it its ability to handle massive volume of data in real time. Um, and One important, very important thing is when you are developing an AI application, you need to make sure that AI application has to be responsive. So it needs a fresh data, fast data, and accessible. Accessible data is very important. Now, Cosmos DB has a real-time ingestion. You can go for low latency access for inference, and can have a seamless integration with Azure services like Azure OpenAI and functions, and other services like cognitive searches, etc. So you can easily have a end-to-end application built on top of the platform. So if you're building a intelligent application, Cosmos DB ensure your model are fed the right data at the right time, and no matter where your users are. In fact, we have one of the feature called multi-region write, where you can actually have write availability across the region wherever your users are, along with your read user experience. From personalized experience, from a shopping perspective, or fraud detection, citizen engagement platform, or every almost all of these um, use cases require you to have a faster data access. And Cosmos DB is the one who's actually helping organization delivering the intelligent solutions at a scale which makes a real impact. Now, speaking of impact, I'm really happy to welcome our special guest today, someone I have been meaning to connect for a while, and I'm glad I finally got a chance to connect and host him here. He's Arpit Gupta, founder of MLAI. He is having an industry BFSI industry expertise in for a while, and I would like to welcome him on board. Hi, Arpit. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good, Manish. How are you?
Perfect too. Thanks a lot, and I'm very excited to host you in our first session of this series called Scalable AI.
Thank
So,
you.
what's up?
Yeah. So these days, like we are pretty much busy in terms of trying to discuss with various customers like they are very eager to understand what agentic AI, generative AI can do, and then we're trying to position Cosmos as well as part of uh, like a vital underlying layer for all the solutions what we develop. So yes, pretty excited in terms of what's gonna come ahead in like few months ahead, I would say.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone, for joining here, Arpit. This was really a short notice, but thank you so much. So let's get started. So I have a few questions to ask you. So I know you're working with a lot of customers around the globe, and those customers are BFSI and mostly the customer who are looking at compliances, looking at data security, sovereignty, privacy is very important for them.
Correct.
So, how your organization is helping shaping your customers' process strategies around AI specifically to meet evolving user expectations?
Right. So, see, since we work with BFSIs, which are mainly three types: banks, insurance companies, and capital markets, we are seeing that majorly there are, like, I would say, four areas where they see some impact coming from generative AI, agentic AI. One is sales enhancements, how they can improvise their sales, of course. Second is how they can do better customer onboarding, quicker customer onboarding, improvise overall customer experience, and last is like the overall operational efficiency. So these are the four areas where we are seeing that generative AI is playing a pivotal role. We are trying to implement all kind of agentic AI layers which are provided by Microsoft, and then we are trying to overall improvise the operational efficiencies. We have seen an overall number like which is around 30 to 50%, ranging from various customers to customers, but that is something which we can improvise, automate. Overall the human like I would say uh, the involvement of human just go down overall. Then in sales enhancements, we have seen that around 20 to 30% rise in sales overall. That can come up in like 3 to 6 months of time period as soon as we implement a solution. Customer onboarding and customer experience is something which you realize over a period of time. That's not something where you can see the ROI coming up quite nicely. But yes, these are some of the figures which could really, which we are seeing coming up on a day-to-day basis after talking to various customers.
Awesome. I think the moment some organization picks up any project, they have one important question in mind: what is my ROI? And I think glad you are already addressing those questions upfront. Yeah, great. And
Correct.
awesome. So now, what role does Cosmos DB play in powering those AI capabilities of your solution, especially around the features like vector search and real-time scoring?
Right. So, like Cosmos, as I said, it's one of an important role. It's an important component of our architecture. Uh, it does majorly three jobs for us. One is storing the data, which is like the chunk data, index data, metadata, some of the other type of data which is being provided by the customer. Second is it helps us in semantic search. Okay, that's again very important component. We're trying to uh, like store all that information. Then the semantic search, as it happens, it tries to give us the right answer when a user is asking a query. Last but not the least, the data which is indexed, the chunk data from documents from various sources, that is also stored in Cosmos. So, like you can understand out of the major roles which are supposed to be done by any Gen AI or agentic AI application, I think Cosmos is doing all most of that. So yes, that's one of the major component as of now what we're trying to handle for our use cases for our product accelerators, products, whatever you can call them. But yes, yeah, I'm totally dependent on Cosmos as of now.
Awesome. And I think it's really important that the Cosmos DB's low latency will certainly uh, help you get the response as early as possible. And of course, with invention of AI, accuracy is more important. If you get the data, uh, with a higher accuracy with the low latency, I think that's a amazing combination you can get. I agree with you.
Certainly, certainly. And as we deal with BFSIs, Manish, like you have rightly pointed out, low latency is something which is highly required because the amount of data is humongous. They have various data sources. They have data ranging from like last 10 years to like 5 years, I would say overall. They don't really care like if they have to store data into various sources or various databases or various data lakes, but they always keep their data, keep customers data safe, so that it helps them in deduplication, say cross sales, some of the other mechanisms which are uh, like prominent in any BFSI industry.
Awesome. And this question is my favorite one. What scaling challenges did you face in deploying AI application at a production scale, and how did Cosmos DB help you address them?
Right. So that's a practical problem, which we try to see. See, a lot of data is not always structured. We have seen unstructured data as well coming from customers, that too from multiple sources. Even if we create data ingestion pipelines, we have seen that data will store. Then we have to make use of a database component that really helps us in terms of having a unified layer where all the data stays, and then we can create LLMs, we can train LLMs on top of it. That becomes the I would say the basement of a building kind of a thing. That's the main root layer that helps us in developing applications.
Awesome, awesome. Um, and I think, yeah, so we have the best part of Cosmos TV is actually it has a um, scale both the part like scale up as well as scale out. I think if you want to scale your compute, you can easily do that. You can rely on us for the storage scale as soon as storage comes into the picture. We'll add more if it requires, and it is smooth without any hassles. Yeah, correct. Um, Now, another question, which is out of like we have spoken a lot of about technology. Now, this question is a really meaty question in terms of the business, and I wanted to understand from this question that how do you handle the business outcomes which are very important for any business you're dealing with. So the question would be that what business outcomes have you achieved by integrating Cosmos DB into your AI stack, whether in terms of whether in terms of speed, scale, or cost?
Right. So as I said, like we have like made good use of Cosmos, and primarily two major databases, which is NoSQL and Mongo. Scaling, as far as it is concerned, we have used a NoSQL for storing the data, and I'll talk about some numbers. We have seen the system complexities when we are trying to implement a generative AI solution using Cosmos. That goes down by almost 40%. We are seeing the delivery cycles, like which is like we're trying to develop a solution and trying to make it live, that has reduced by almost 30%. The customers whom we are trying to serve, uh, be it like Cosmos playing some role or LLM or any of those components, but are like 85% of the customers are very much satisfied in terms of what kind of a solution we are delivering. Rest 15%, they always look out for something which is they want more and more and more always. Uh, yeah, so these are some of the numbers which are very evident that comes up on a like whenever we talk to a customer, we see those impact numbers coming up.
Thank you, Arpit, for answering all the questions and providing us the insights about MLAI, MLAI's journey and your engagement with your other customers. Now it's time to look at the solution. in details. So over to you.
Thank you, Manish. Thanks a lot. So we have taken an example where this is one of a very common use case which is being uh, asked by some of our FSIs, where a customer has landed upon a website. He's probably inquiring about product. He's providing some of his own details as well, and then the product recommendation comes in from the LLM layer. So if you see, we have created a website altogether. That's like on the website, we have got the data altogether from for that customer. We have scraped all of his data. Then we have also got PDFs from the customer, which is like large data sources, large product information, product brochures, and all those things we have got from the customer. Then we have created a beautiful UI uh, using React. The user asks in a question, and the prompt history is stored in Cosmos DB. We have created a real-time RAG using semantic and along with some semantic search, I would say, over all these embedded documents. The embedding has been done through ADA 002, which is like uh, uh, an Azure OpenAI layer altogether. Then Cosmos is the backbone which connects GPT-4o, which you are able to see here, the LLM layer, along with the embedding models and the data pipelines, which where like the data will be flowing through which on a day-to-day basis, and it can increase as the demand grows. So we are not much concerned in like the scalability side. So that part is getting done here, and there is Django REST API, so that if not just a mobile browser or web browser, it can be integrated with mobile app as well for a customer over a period of time. So that's why we have kept Django REST API so that it can be scaled overall. So that pretty much summarizes the product what we're trying to envisage. As I said, like it's a journey altogether, which I'll come through. I'll probably show you a demo of the same and then explain how the user is able to experience the complete product journey.
Awesome. I think you've spoken about that flow very nicely. I think it's really very important to understand from that particular aspect. So I have a small question. How does system process the user queries?
Yeah, so system is like processing these user query mainly through Django REST API. That is like the orchestrator who is making the system. The users are asking a query. The That's a middle orchestrator, the main orchestrator, I would say, who's interacting with the LLMs and some of the other uh, uh, embedding related data prompts and all those things. So mainly I would like to emphasize on Django REST API, which is being the main orchestrator who is
Yeah.
trying to make the user interact with that.
Superb, superb. So it actually goes to the LLM, vectorize the response, and then you perform the queries, search queries onto Cosmos DB. And
Correct.
because I think you are storing both the data, business data, as well as vectorized data onto Cosmos DB, you'll be able to get the data very quickly and having a better context altogether. Awesome.
Correct.
Awesome. So, what data sources does this system support?
So mainly data sources, what we have seen till date, the customers have majorly three type of data sources. One is the data is present on their website. So generally they give us a URL saying that this is the company website. You can pull data from various URLs, sub URLs. Second is
Mhm.
multiple PDFs from which you might be able to see in the diagram. We are chunking the documents. We're extracting information from there. And third is data sometimes that relies on legacy systems, on premises, databases, or third
Got
party sources as well. So we have all the capabilities to get data from all these 3 to 4 layers, which I just explained.
Got it. Okay. And I think this is a very important and useful question for our audience as well. So, um, and my favorite question: why use Cosmos TV for this architecture?
Yeah. So, see, as I told, like it's very evident from the diagram as well. We are storing prompt history. We are using vector storage. We have global distribution, low latency queries which are coming through Cosmos, which you are able to see here. It's ideal for RAG application. It's like we have tried and tested it multiple times. I gave you some numbers as well 10 minutes back, where we see we have seen the real impact coming from Cosmos. So these are some of the reasons why we are using Cosmos DB for the architecture.
Awesome, awesome. And how does vectorization will happen overall? Like you have the data, you pump the data to Cosmos TV. How does this vectorization will happen?
Right. So vectorization, I would say it's a mix of embeddings as well as the data what we try to store in vector storage. So embeddings,
Mhm.
as I told you, it's being done by Azure OpenAI or a 002 model.
Okay.
And then we
Okay.
have model to do vector representations.
Mhm.
And that is stored in Cosmos DB. Once the query is being asked, Django REST API, when it does its own work, the
Mhm.
semantic similarity match comes in, which is provided by Cosmos, and that's fabulous, which we have experienced overall coming from Cosmos. That makes the right answer coming for a particular query.
Of course, and because I think you did mention, in our offline conversation that this is using this Canon, which is
Right.
going to help us, improvise the accuracy. It's phenomenal. Like I'm sure that you will getting the best performance and the accuracy at the same time. In
Correct.
fact, one more thing I wanted to share, and this is something that in the next session, next topic of this session will, covering about the what is latest and greatest. That we are going to have a automation in terms of getting the data from your files automatically chunked, moved to Cosmos DB, and vectorized at the same time. So this is something that we are actually, having in our preview features already. So yeah, you can try it out maybe as a V2 of this particular solution. So
Yeah. So
yeah,
we are already trying some of the new features which we are seeing from the blogs, thanks to your team. They're guiding us on terms of what new features might come up. Primarily the hybrid search part. That is something which we are trying to incorporate in this architecture.
awesome, very nice, very nice. Okay, so I'm very excited now. Let's look into the code. Would you like to share some pieces how it is happening, what how you are basically performing the stuff, and can we see some things? Yeah.
Yeah, so this is like the main source code, I would say, where we're trying to use Cosmos. Mainly, there are two files, Mongo DB data. This we are using for, uh, I would say, like storing the data, embeddings, and then storing the chunk data. You can see some of the functions which you're trying to create here. These are the indexed, vectorized search index which we are trying to use here, and all the documents are inserted into Mongo collections. That is something again which you can see here. All those documents were like almost I would say 30,000 in numbers for this customer, and
Okay.
at the same time, if I come here, I can show you how the vector search is actually happening. That's the semantic search part. User is asking
Mm-hmm.
a question and the right answer is coming up. That's happening here. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you can probably see. Um, then prompts. We are trying to store the prompts. We're trying to do prompt engineering. That is something which is coming up from this part of the code, which you're able to see. And then the results. At last, we are supposed to get the results. c- uh, we are trying to answer the queries with context as well. There's some a little bit of engineering done here as well, and then finally the
Okay.
result being popped up on the screen.
Awesome. And where you are exactly, indexing and storing the vector embeddings.
Yeah, so see, these are the chunk data which you're able to see on your screen, but primarily, if I tell you, we have
Mm,
embeddings which are getting created here in this function,
mm,
Um,
Okay,
and Cosmos is storing all those information as index data.
awesome. And where you are performing the semantic search, from Cosmos TV.
Yeah. So just to repeat myself, this is the code of which where like the semantic search is happening,
Okay.
and like this is the simple function to help
Mhm.
in searching of the code or the
Okay.
semantic search. That is something which is coming up here, and there's a similarity score that we
Mhm.
generally provides that helps us to improvise the results as we move forward, as we see a lot of data, or we get feedback from the customer saying that okay, this for this question we might have to tweak the answer. So in that case,
Yeah.
that is something which we try to perform here.
Awesome. And would you like to show us in action?
Yeah, of course. Okay, so though we have masked some of the information for this customer, so let's say there's a customer who has got
Mhm.
majorly four services, uh, be it like demat service,
Mhm.
debit card, or credit card, or home loan. The user will be arriving on this website, on this page through some marketing channel, and that's the
Mhm.
beauty of this product. It's not a chatbot overall
Okay.
like a normal, I would say, bland chatbot. So when the user is coming, he's very particular that
Mhm.
he wants to ask a particular know about a particular product, I
Mhm.
would say. So he's saying that, okay, I want to open a savings account. But now the agents would come into place, which are at the back end. They
Mhm.
will try to find out, okay, there's this customer. As of now, the bot is just giving them very normal
Mhm.
information, which was there as part of a overall KYC forms, or maybe the forms which are available on the website where he can go and fill up all the details. At the same time, we are trying to assess the customer when he will provide some of the information. Will we have already got some of his information because he's probably logging on, which we have masked, as I said again. We have masked some of the information, but we know some of the details for the customer, and then we are trying to nudge him saying that what kind of a savings account you really want to open. Okay. We are giving them features. We are telling them, okay, particularly if you uh, like want to go for this kind of a savings account that is being depicted here, and now the bot is showing them all the various options available to this customer. You would have seen that the user has not given a lot of information, but the bot is guiding the user. This is on the basis of, as I said, agents which are deployed at the
Mhm.
which are coming up into place. And then the user might go and choose one of the option. Uh, like, okay, I would like to go with some of these details which you provided. Can you provide me more details related to savings account? So that is something which is coming up. Everything is real time, so that, like, let's say if the data gets changed overnight, the bot would be in a situation to get the real time information which is available on the website. It's not like the
Mhm.
old data that comes up here. Now,
Yeah,
if
and
you
I
see,
guess there is a contextual responses also coming in. I think yeah, great. Yeah, continue.
yeah, yeah. So, as I said, like for this demo, we have masked some of the information because that's specific. But now, if you see, it's this is the main important part. He's providing his own details. Okay, he's providing his
Mhm.
own data points on which
Mhm.
the bot is suggesting some of the product. Okay,
Okay.
uh,
Okay.
that's the key area. Although we were
Mhm.
not able to show you the complete magic behind it, but these data points which he just provided, this is
Okay.
magical. This is something where,
Okay.
like, this makes this customer whom we have developed, whom for this bank whom we have developed, Manish. Like, I'll continue now. If you have seen that the customer is providing his own data points, this is very particularly because I'm pausing it here because this is something that this customer, on the basis of his insight, what he has provided, is not just salaried or the salary figure which he has provided. Trust me, there are more data points what we try to gather from KYC as well as bureau data as well. That is like the bureau which is trying to provide the credit points which are earned on the basis of its paying back capacity. So the bot is trying to suggest a product to the customer. And then the person, the user is trying to understand what kind of options he has got. And then he's asking for more features. Can you give me all the features? Because I might have to compare. So that's a separate product which I'll come back later, some point of time, because uh, we have a facility or feature where you
Mhm.
can compare one product with someone else product, or that's specifically for insurance companies. So maybe you can upload a product which has been provided by one insurance company, and then what you have got from the other, you can try to compare. That's the beauty of one of our featured technology which we have developed. Now, since he has got all the details, now
Mhm.
he's keen to ask some of the other options which are available. Why should I open this account? Uh, See, that's like, if you would have seen, the customer is anxious. He wants to uh, get the data, as well as he's very clear that, okay, why should I open this particular account? So now the bot is trying to give him suggestions. He's trying to tell all the reward points, all the benefits which are coming as part of this complete product thing. Okay. Now, the agent, there's one more agent which is coming up, and he's poking like, do you want to specific benefits which are related to this debit card? Which, like, when you'll open the savings account, you will get a particular debit card. So it's asking for about like what kind of a debit card, what all things you're getting. So he's getting movie tickets, he's getting unlimited free ATM transactions, and some of the other beneficiary details that he's trying to ask from the bot. Because if you see here, uh, he's asking about two more products that can be relevant to his relatives, children, and all those things. So that's how the journey goes. I have given you a high level idea, like how the system works. Yeah, Manish.
Yeah, thank you so much, Arpit, for giving this walkthrough. Now it's time that we should, look at what is hot and happening with Azure Cosmos DB. Um, we have done many announcements recently, and I have just outlined few of them to, just highlight that what you can do with Azure Cosmos DB, and because people are more concerned about AI world, and they wanted to focus on what's going on with AI side of the business. So this is what we are actually doing, I'll speak about individual updates, because it's very important to understand what updates happen and why it is why we have added those. So basically, we have BM25 full text queries all is gone GA now. These are all generally available features. So BM25 is actually going to help you improve the relevance for the document search in knowledge bases and support portal. For example, let's say if you have a knowledge base, or you wanted to develop an application which will search across the portals and try to identify the relevant information, you can easily do that without any challenge. Um, Second is hybrid search, which is basically hybrid search with reciprocal rank fusion (RRF). This is gone live. Ideally, we should have it, for e-commerce and recommendation systems, where you are combining semantic and keyword relevance. And but there are many other use cases where you can use it. One of the customer scenario which I can think about is basically, let's say you have a retail application which is blending keywords as well as vector search together to identify what is the user queries and wanted to provide context based on the browsing behavior. Um, we have added another thing is called weighted search. Is basically enables fine-tuned search in apps like job boards, resume matches, etc. And it'll help people to find relevant information in a vector search scenarios. One of the example could be a recruitment platform which will boost vector relevance for the skills while keeping the keyword matches for job title. That's a thing you can do. And this one is every developer's favorite. We have actually added link queue and EF core integration, and this will reduce the dev time as much as 40%. So these are the high level updates we had for from public preview sorry GA feature standpoint, and we have added a lot of things in preview, so which includes this multi-language full text search. I'm sure that you would have been figuring out, hey, default languages there. When you can add more languages, now you can add that. So you can have different languages, French, German, Spanish, to search itinerary in their different languages. We have also added fuzzy search, and you'll be able to perform um, uh, typo tolerant search bar, so you can if somebody is searching for pasta with wrong spelling, saying pesto or pesta, and you'll be able to get that. That was a huge leap, and a lot of people who are basically developing a search based application, this completes their experience. Then one of the most important thing, which is filtered vector search with disk ANN. Disk ANN is anyways is a very highly optimal index strategy, which will help you to optimize your resources. You will get the best performance at the lower cost in terms of vector search. Now you will be able to use filtered vector search, which means that you will be able to have a uh, reduced data set, contextual data set where you can perform your queries, which will make search faster and cost effective as well. Then I think this is something that Arpit have already highlighted in his architecture diagram. Although at that point of time it was not there, so he had actually built it by himself. And a lot of people actually did build or use open source stuff, but this is now there. We have document indexer plus logic apps, so that you'll be able to add PDFs, images, markdown into a searchable vector search ready data in Cosmos DB. You can easily do that without any challenges. Another important thing, which is we actually added is called GSIs. It's called global secondary indexes. Now, global secondary indexes are a very important when you're performing queries on different keys. So let's say if you have two, three different partition key altogether, and you wanted to create views, you can easily perform queries on different views altogether, and it's there in preview. Feel free to enable those features. It's very important. This per partition automatic failover is very critical for the applications which are very sensitive towards availability. You want to have availability on not only for reads as well as for writes. It was there for multi-region writes, but for the applications who cannot have a multi-region write and they wanted to have this feature, so we have made it available. What happened in this case? So let's say if you have an outage, and that outage is only localized to a certain set of partition, automatically the failover happens, and then you will have a very minimal disruption for those partitions, and then automatically your rights will be migrated, and you will be able to perform your rights as much as possible with a minimal downtime. And this is very important. We have enabled this. You can try this out. And then we have something called Cosmos DB in Fabric. Cosmos DB in Fabric is a game changer, which is going to give you a capability. You can instantiate Cosmos DB inside the Cosmos DB, inside the Fabric itself, and you'll be able to analyze your inventory and perform the data orchestration at the same time. Um, and then we have something called fleet management. This simplifies the governance of very large scale Cosmos DB deployment. And I'm not talking about like you have a few TBs of data. No, the thing is, let's say if you have a SaaS based application, you are basically onboarding multiple tenants, and you let's say you have hundreds of tenants, and every tenant has a set of collections, and you have different Cosmos DB environment. So you need to literally monitor 400, 500 collections and Cosmos DB instances. So you can simply do that. You can have centralized control, and you can also do observability across the board. So that's thing which is which has happened in NoSQL API world. We have also added uh, tons of new things in MongoDB vCore. So in MongoDB vCore, now this canon already gone GA. So this is a very important factor for the people who are waiting for GA of this canon. Now you can use it in production. We have Chain Stream, which is also gone for GA. And we have Document DB, which is local emulator. It's in preview right now. First party Azure function support is also in preview. We have a Visual Studio Code extension that basically give you capability to connect to Cosmos DB from your desktop, and you will be able to manage everything just like you are doing it SSMS, or you are working with third-party tools which help you to manage your indexes, data, and the schema. You can easily do that with Visual Studio Code extension. Visual Studio Code is free. You can download the extension. That extension is also free. So this is a freebie tool which will help you to manage your entire database effectively. And then last not the least, which is basically Enter ID integration. Now this Enter ID integration is actually is very very important for people who are looking at compliances, and they wanted to make sure that they are able to provide information to information security team whenever something happens, who executed the query, what happened. You wanted to use constraints, you can easily do that. And yeah, these are the list of things happened in MongoDB vCore, and there are tons of things coming in our next release. And I'm going to have this particular section in all of our sessions in this series, so that every month you have a latest and greatest available from our side. So I'm moving to next topic, which is call to action. Yeah, with so so for those of you who are looking at a connection with MLAI, Arpit will help us. Yeah, Arpit, over to you.
Yeah, so thank you, Manish. These are my coordinates. We can connect, we can understand what all Cosmos can do for your products. Would really love to help that out. You guys can connect me on LinkedIn. We can always discuss that what new features would really create an impact on our solutions. Like, we have a list of solutions which I'm probably trying to showcase here. These products are like live at some of the logos which I mentioned as well. So of course would really love to connect with the folks who are like very interested to make use of Cosmos.
Awesome, and I think it covers pretty much all the top banks and financial companies you're working on. Glad to see this rich customer base you have right now, and I think it's very important that, let's say, if you want to understand the solution and wanted to connect with Arpit on one-on-one basis, please feel to connect with him, and he'll be happy to assist on your journey. With that, I think we are moving to a very interesting and most important section of our session is called Q&A, question and answer. So please submit your questions, type your questions in the comment box below. We are going to pick up one by one. As soon as you put the question, I'll see that and we'll answer this question. But before that, actually, we have few questions which already have people submitted in the registration page. So I wanted to pick up those questions first to start with, and then move to the live Q&A. Okay, so I think one of the question we have, and it was very interesting question, people have asked is that yeah, so and it's very important to understand that if it fits to my use case. So yeah, the question is, why is Cosmos DB a good fit for real-time AI application? I think we have many reasons to give you, but I wanted to be short and sweet. Um, so we have millisecond latency promise. We have real-time data, ingestion. We have scale. Arpit have already shown you all three. Hence, it is a perfect for AI model that needs fresh data, like any other use case. For example, like fraud detection, or you have personalized recommendations. In fact, there are a couple of things I wanted to highlight here. Is, let's say you have data which is PII. You want to make sure that that data is encrypted. So we support CMK. We support field level encryption. We have a encryption at rest, encryption in transit, and we support Entra ID. We support HSM with CMK. So those are very niche features to talk about in terms of the security. So you can easily use that. Arpit this already has picked us up specifically for FSI use cases. So yeah, I don't think I have to say anything. Arpit, anything you wanted to add?
Now, particularly like, see, if a customer who has got large amount of data, I think in that case, it becomes evident to use something which has most of the features which are required by any AI application. So in that case, Cosmos fits it in the right way. We have shown examples, we have shown the code, we have shown customer numbers. All those things are very much uh, like, I'll give you an example, Manish. We had one customer where, like, earlier he was not very pro to use Cosmos DB, and we were seeing the queries being answered in like almost 3 to 5 seconds. Once after implementation of Cosmos Mongo vCore, we could see the answer is popping up in 800 milliseconds, and that's something which we recorded it. So yeah, these are some of the situations where we see that yes, the overall uh, Cosmos implementation is really impacting the performance.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks. And another interesting question. I think this is a very candid question. Somebody asked is, how do you model AI related data in Cosmos DB? I think I'll share this, and then probably I'll open the stage to Arpita as well, because he has shown this to us. So you can store JSON document with user behavior, logs, even embeddings as part of your data. So you don't need to have a separate database to store your vector search or embeddings. So you can perform vector search on your existing data. You just need to add a vector on top of it. In fact, the best part of Cosmos DB is that it supports it does not have any limit in terms of number of columns you can add or number of fields you can add of different vector dimensions. So you can actually have vector coming from your local model, vector coming from your cloud model. So all those can stay together with your data so that you'll be able to perform queries without any challenges. And this will help you to address all the AI use cases and pattern. But most importantly, you need to make sure that it's not different than regular queries or regular data designing of Cosmos DB. You need to think about partition queue. Most importantly, we have multiple options. You can actually use partition key. You can have hierarchical partition key. We support three level of hierarchical partition key, meaning we have parent, then we have child, then we can have grandchild. So you can actually have those hierarchy also available. But the thing is, you need to think about your usage perspective. So if you are selecting a partition key, use a partition key. That's very important. And of course, let's say if you have a various permutation combination, you'll say that, hey, you know what, in few set of queries, I wanted to have X partition key, but in some queries, I want to have Y partition key. So what you can do, you can actually have GSI. GSI is going to address this particular problem or requirement, and you'll be able to perform queries, get best of both worlds without any challenges. Arpit, anything you want to add?
Yeah. So apart from that, Manish, like one more point, like the automated scaling part, that is something which we should never forget. That comes as part of Cosmos. Like we have seen examples I have discussed with you multiple times where that is like an evident feature of Cosmos, where the customer is trying to have data coming up on a regular basis, and Cosmos has helped us uh, on a very major role.
Awesome. Yeah, I think we have different kind of scaling, and actually, this is a user question also about the scaling. How does Cosmos DB support scalability in AI workloads? So yeah, I think see the thing is Cosmos DB is a de facto for AI application because
Correct.
of two reasons. One is the scale, second is the performance. And scale is, I'm not talking about the scale in the local scale. Local, of course, you can do that, but we can also have a global scale. So you can actually do a auto scale. So we can give you 10x scalability in terms of your compute requirement. We'll give you storage scalability with you keep adding your data, and transparently we add more partitions as we see there is a requirement for growth. Then if you this is basically the local scaling,
Correct.
meaning that in one region. Now you can actually do a global scaling also. So we have every partition connecting to remote partition without any challenge. This means that you'll be, let's say if you are storing 1 terabyte of data, first of all it is getting chunked into multiple partitions, and then it will get replicated together, so that you will have absolutely no or minimum delay between your regions. And you will be able to have read access of your data in global region, and you can also have writable regions as well. So you can have multi-region write, you can have single region write. There is absolutely no challenges. It is default behavior of Cosmos DB to give you scale at any level or whatever level you're picking up. In fact, ChatGPT, OpenAI uses Cosmos DB, and Teams uses Cosmos DB. So many mission critical applications are using Cosmos DB. And it is not that they are using Cosmos DB because Cosmos DB they like it, but because it's de facto for them.
Correct.
For AI, it is definitely there, and we have various flavor. I think Arpita have already shown us. So we have NoSQL API, we have MongoDB core, we have Cassandra. So if you want to pick up any of them, you come to Cosmos TV, and definitely will ensure that you have a best of the industry experience. So I think we are at the very end of the session, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank you so much, Arpit, for joining in. I know you
Thank
are super busy. I know you have right now one leg in one direction and second is in different, and you are doing a lot of multi-agent solutions. You are designing best of breed, FSI solutions at this point of time. We'll look forward for working with you again, and we'll definitely catch up again with. It was nice catching up with you as always. um, and for the audience who are watching us right now, please feel free to check out our next session. Our next session is going to happen on 28th of August. This recording of this session will be available, and will I think there were some glitches, but we'll make it available without any glitches to you by maybe this week itself. And please register yourself so that you will not miss anything. Maybe you can subscribe and submit your questions in advance. We'll be happy to take up those questions, even if it means that we need to go deeply to give you more insights altogether. With that, thank you so much. We are almost on time for our audience at the live and to our pit. Thank you, guys. We will
thank you,
see you.
Manish. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Cool. Okay. Thanks, guys. Bye bye.
Thank you.
See
Thank
you.
you very much.